Welcome everyone to the 2024 Memorial Championships. We are at Vista del Camino playing the XL layout. Myself, Jennifer Allen, Violet Main, Ohn Scoggins, and Hannah Stefanovich. We are your lead card for round 3. We have made it to the back 9. So far in the front 9, Ohn has now tied things up. This is hole 10, 651 feet, par 5. We have the OB lining that sidewalk on the right, as well as the sidewalk over there on the left side. You want to keep it nice and straight all the way down, finding the basket on a slight sloped green there. The Mando tree here on the left. And I found that last high branch. I keep going back and forth if I want to use that carpet or the dirt tee, which Ohn chose. And that's going to get that forehand all the way out there, right in the middle. Violet choosing to the side as well. Gets a nice high height with the nose up, so that's going to dump back to the left and stay safe. Remember, we're just starting to get the headwind to pick up. It was supposed to be really windy today. It has been nice so far, but we're starting to see that change. Hannah getting an awesome kick that's going to keep her safe. That was headed straight out of bounds. Hearing the planes fly over, that airport is really close. I can't catch the branches there on the right. Gonna drop me down towards the middle. Hannah goes directly across the fairway all the way over to the left. It's another lovely kick. The trees on the left and the right, both loving Hannah, giving her some local AZ love there, keeping her safe. So Ohn choosing forehand, and that just sets up absolutely perfect for her on this hole. Gets her down there for the eagle look. So the footing on this is very difficult, really hard to maintain an angle, but Violet does it great. Carries a little long, bounces just outside circle 1, but that's still going to give an eagle look. I decided I might as well try to like flip things around. It has not been my day so far, so we'll see if flipping upside down helps things straighten out. Hannah's going to slide just inside circle 1. This point, whatever helps me try to keep pushing Ohn instead of just giving her strokes. Unfortunately, I don't know if that headstand helped at all. Did give me a little bit of a roll out back to the middle. That's still going to be a long look with the soft par. That's still for birdie.
I'll just forehand the rest of the day. One thing worked.
So this is Ohn from probably about 50, 55, just outside on the right. Again, that was her eagle look, so she's just past the basket for birdie. Hannah gives it a nice high bid as well. Can always count on a busy park if you're out playing Vista. A little low for Violet's eagle look, so that should be a tap-in birdie for her as well. I got that basket surrounded. We're all going to come in and just tap those in. So Hannah is actually going to get her par. I forgot about her first little short one there. Still a great save, and trees keeping her in on both sides. Violet gets the birdie. I'm going to turbo in for par as well. We're going to walk across the road here. Down the road, now we're on hole 11, headed back to the front. This is a 543-foot par 4. Do have a couple of Mandos on this hole that we need to stay to the right of, as well as OB that lines the fairway both on the right and the left. You can see that the ground does slope from right to left the entire length of the fairway as well. This hole sets up perfect for Ohn's forehand shot as well. So she's going to play that back down the other direction. Violet going backhand, getting a nice glide. She's going to hyzer just in front of that tree there in the middle. It's a pretty good spot. That's going to leave her just outside 200 feet. Doing a little course maintenance here. We have a lot of gophers, something tearing up the ground. Quite a few little holes by our tee paths. We're going to try to fix those real quick. So just going with the spike hyzer, trying to stay safe. Does get a pretty big skip. I do like playing from the left side of the fairway. It does set me up for the hyzer shot. For the approach, if you land in the middle, you have to throw a pretty touchy backhand straight shot.
It's like they brought in dirt, but they didn't level it. Like that. Maybe there's
So you do have to watch the ankles here, as well as the height of your disc, because unfortunately, get it up too high, it's going to fade, drop over there on the left-hand side. So Hannah, unfortunately, finding OB. She did pass that Mando, though, so that's fine. But that's Ohn's forehand shot. Like I said, she has dialed in, drills the pole. This is a shot she did the exact same thing every round of the Shelly Sharp. So clearly this is Ohn's hole. Sets up perfectly for her distance, as well as looks like Violet has that distance dialed in as well. So like I said, about a little outside 200 feet. I did not release that to the right as far as I wanted to. It stays safe, but I wanted that lined in, sliding to the basket, not throwing it at the basket. So it's going to leave me a long look for birdie. Tried to push it a little high, did not get the lift. Hannah's still trying to get her things together out there. Get that disc back. It's always a little strange to putt downhill, because mostly around this entire course we're putting so high on the elevated basket. So here and there we do get up on the slope and have to drastically putt downhill. Hannah, unfortunately, with that OB stroke, she's going to get the bogey on 11. Violet and Ohn are here for birdie. Our favorite spot on the course. We get to run over and take that quick bathroom break. While she does that, spinners, thank you so much for putting on this event. Hole 12, we got to clear this water. This is 282 feet, par 3. Get it all the way up above the gunite, and you will get a nice look for birdie. OB all along that concrete, as well as the sidewalk there deep of the basket. So you can choose, try to carry it all the way over the water. Ohn releasing that very low. So that is not going to make it up on top. So she's going to have to re-tee. You can choose to pitch over to the right side there and then throw your second shot over. Thankfully, I believe this is a Hawkeye. Does have enough of a turn on it, so that is going to be safe. Violet did have the nose up angle on that extremely high. I let that go a little too straight at the basket because I know how stable that rock is. So I hit inbounds, but bounce unfortunately into the OB area. Since I did cross, I do get to take it on top. None of us really getting the pull and the release and the angles that we really want to on this hole. Typically is not that difficult of a hole for us. Ohn makes it over with ease the second time. This is Hannah for birdie. Not a shot that we typically are ever going to really run. So she is going to just tap in that par. And that's something we don't see every day. Ohn not even hitting metal. Able to hit the long putt to save the par. Feels like a birdie. Just not the day that I ever see out here at Vista. This is a course I play quite a bit. Typically have it dialed in extremely better than I've been playing today. Ohn, unfortunately, with those 2 shots from the tee, that's going to be a double bogey. Violet going to waffle in that birdie. That's a great recovery from a few strokes she left on the front 9. She's flexed and happy for it. Big shout out at the moment to the spotters, as you can hear him telling us where the water is. They did a phenomenal job all week, as well as a shout out to all the sponsors who are helping bring this footage. Hole 13, we've made it back across to the other side. This is 405. This is a par 3. You must clear that water, and you can see that water comes all the way around to the other side, finds itself right behind the basket. I would say about 8 feet or so. It's close, and there is a really cool little dust devil. I kind of felt like I was back in Oklahoma for a minute. That stirred up out of nowhere and traveled all the way across the street. So it stayed on the ground for quite a while. There were no
It's a dry tornado.
there are no damage reports in this tornado that we saw, except for it cleaned up a few of the leaves.
That got pretty good right there. That was picking up speed.
All right, tornado has moved off of Vista. Here is Violet hitting the gap between those trees perfectly. Catches the second tree, so that's right in the middle, and that's about where that would have landed anyway. It was coming down. I decided with this weird wind to try to cut down the middle instead of throwing the hyzer. I typically throw, catch that branch. It does roll a little, but stays there up on top. I was really worried. I thought I got him there from the backside. I didn't think he could see it. He did not get hit. Hannah hitting that middle gap. Got a pretty stable disc. Gonna skip her over there to the left, but it's gonna stay safe. That's gonna set her up for another hyzer to approach the basket. Ohn giving it that forehand look. Great turn, great speed, and you're gonna get a skip out at Vista typically. And a roll, dead center. So there's that hyzer approach that Hannah has perfectly dialed up. Rolls a little bit away, but she's gonna still be there. I think I ranged this about 170. Again, OB right behind the basket. I'm going with the Yeti from the knee, just trying to slide it up there. very pleased with that approach. That is one that no one wants to throw. It's a touchy distance for a lot of us women, I think. Can't really give it a full throw, but you got to throw it a little bit. Violet gets to touch on it. She's going to slide up there too. Ohn just giving a little jumper, laying safe.
Yeah, perfect. Whew. Kind of stood up and rolled it. First place, Gary. Yeah. Yes. Great putt.
Violet taking that one in from 15 or so. Pretty far for the waffle.
That's like the best putt. It's like that was I was excited to be. I know.
Like, Violet, you don't have to explain me. I turboed for a while. All right, this is Ohn for par.
Here, Johanna. I think it's me. I thought it was me this whole time. I can't ever tell. My eyes are playing tricks with me. Oh, what was this saying?
I use my Bushnell for a reason. I will let everyone else decide who's out. Hannah chooses herself and throws it in there for the par. Took my time, felt like that was completely dead center right at where I was aiming, and these baskets sometimes are just really ugly, and that burns after a rough front 9, so that about did me in for staying positive there. Gonna have to find my smile again. We're gonna head over to hole 14. This is 605 feet. This is a par 5 because there are mandos that line this fairway all the way down. You see one there on the left. You're just going to see the second one there on the left. And we have one on the right and the last mando there on the left side. You're going to have OB that lines all the way down the left side as well as the sidewalk. So quite a bit of danger. All you have to do is keep it in the middle of the fairway. You can throw this big hyzer that gets Violet to the middle, or you can just take it straight in front. Staying safe, very easy to get the birdie, even can get an eagle look. Hannah with a beautiful flex shot. Let's get her out there exactly where she wants to be. Cranking over that forehand.
Safe. You're safe. You're safe. Oh my God.
Gets a little skip and a roll and a dance, and she's going to find it back in bounds. I'm going with a strong hyzer route. Putting a lot of power to get the skip, and it's going to get me back to the middle. That leaves you with about 200, I think, to the basket. Ohn playing the hyzer route, trying to skip back in between the eucalyptus trees. Going to be right in front of him. Circle 2. Justin incorrect. Justin, it is a par 5. So he had set Ohn up, telling her it was a par 4. Hannah's going to scoot just outside circle 1. There is also OB behind the basket and right there across that sidewalk that Violet unfortunately turned it over and slid just right outside by a few feet. I'm going with the Con. It's like a very straight flying putter. I love the plastic of it, very durable. And unfortunately, that slides pretty far as well. It looked like it was right underneath it. I was very excited, thought I'd get a little tap-in eagle, make up a few strokes that had ran away from me. You can see the wind starting to pick up. It was supposed to be about gusting to 20 miles per hour today. We definitely did not have that, but that tailwind sucked that straight down. Violet with a great bid, bouncing it just off the top. Thankfully, it did not bounce far. That can happen very easily with the flat tops of these baskets. A little too high. This will be putt for eagle. Just a hair too low and gets a wobble and a flip, and the wind pushes it away just a little bit. Yeah, the headwind should have lifted mine, Hannah, and it should have dropped yours. Find that quite a bit out at Vista. No wind is match for Ohn's strong spin putt that she has, and she is shocked that it is a par 5, and so that is the birdie. She had counted herself as par. Hannah gets that one to drop. She's going to get the birdie as well. Bounce that off pretty strong as well. I'm kind of surprised I bounced it so strong after the basket before had spit me, but stays in. Ohn's going to tap, or Violet's going to tap in that par. Shout out to all of our sponsors who help bring us this footage. This is hole 15, 450 feet, par 4. You're going to throw it out around these trees. Landing anywhere in here is going to set you up for a straight shot at the basket. See, tucked in there by those last 2 trees. Or you can go straight, try to go a long hyzer and get around the last tree there in the middle. You do have the fence on the right as well as the sidewalk that wraps up all the way around the back side of the basket. You see that Mando tree. There's 2 of them. Ohn giving a great drive out to the middle. Going to get a skip, and that's a perfect spot to set you up for the approach. Still a little mad from the round, so I kind of got a hold of that one. Went quite a bit further than I typically do.
There you go, Violet. Yep. Shot.
Violet gets a great angle and is going to get a good skip.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a perfect spot. Kind of can decide if you want to go forehand or backhand from there. Just have to watch the speed so you don't go long. That skip hit a little too far out, so she's going to leave herself circle 1 edge. Hannah and I playing here quite a bit know that you play the skip, because if you don't, it's very easy to go long behind those trees. Ohn playing here quite a bit as well. Almost gets the super high skip and goes in. So I found myself long away from the approach I usually go, so I'm going to go back towards the basket and kind of let my skip go at the wrong angle as well. Still gets enough forward progress and misses enough of the branches that I'm just inside circle 1. Violet lets that go a little soft. She was probably afraid of the tree on the right. That would have probably set up a little bit better for a little forehand flick. Hannah with a huge putt just inside the circle. That's going to get her a birdie. So Violet had opened up that gap between 2nd and 3rd with a few good holes. Here's another one. Huge birdie putt for Violet. That feels good. She's been having some putting struggles this round. Getting back close to hole number 1, hearing that awesome loud announcer that we had today. able to connect on a good solid birdie putt. Try to get a few of those back on Ohn. Ohn getting birdie as well. So that's a star frame on the 15th. That's a great hole for all of us to birdie. Hole 16, 390 feet. This is a par 3. You do see the Mando there on the left that you must stay to the right of. Sidewalk on the left is OB, as well as the street up top. One of the most drastic sloping greens on the course, as well as elevated basket, makes this for a pretty difficult par 3. Very rarely do we see the birdie. I think the tough part of this hole for us almost is trying to decide if we want to throw from that small turf tee or try to throw from the dirt across. We struggled this with at the Shelley as well, because we kind of all want to throw at the middle of where the turf and the dirt meet. That's the line that we want, because there are a few branches and that small little tree, as well as that little sign that sometimes comes into play. That's the original tee pad you see in front of us. So that wind kind of smashing that down, did not have the right angle on it. Violet gets a great angle. That should have carried a little bit more, but you could see the wind just smash it down. Either way, that's a great spot. Just inside circle 2. This is a very difficult green to approach. Hannah sliding right up to it and then unfortunately back down, which you commonly see here. So I am trying to make that jump putt. I think I'm about 125 and I'm trying to stay up top. So I am definitely not aiming at this basket. I was aiming straight in front of me, trying to slide down. Ohn doing a nice little soft touch. I try to stay on the right side. Being short, this is very difficult to get a good putt if you are below the basket. Really makes that angle difficult. So this feels like extreme elevated for Hannah. Sinks it, saves the par. Such a great putt from down there. If you dare even miss that and hit any kind of metal, you typically will find yourself OB rolling back across that sidewalk. So you 100% have to commit to that putt and decide if you're even going to attempt it at all. If not, you better aim for the dirt and try not even to hit the pole. So we are all going to tap in some pars there and move over to the island on 17. Shout out to Six Sided Disc, the podcast. Try to look that up. Hole 17, like I said, island green, 243 feet. This is a par 3. You must throw that shot and keep it inside the little signs there, the wall that's built up, except for there isn't a wall back over there on that concrete. That's the other part of the line. Very easily you can slide across that, and we do have the wind picking up. You can see it push Hannah's disc pretty far to the right. Luckily that is a stable disc. Hyzered back in. I believe it was a mid. See Ohn skirt really starting to blow now. Gets it up high, drops it in. That is a good look for birdie for Ohn. Going with a putter, which typically I throw right at it. I decided to go ahead and aim a little bit more to the left and try to turn it over with the wind, or take out everyone on the 18th green, so, or the tee pad there. So this is a round of first for me. I was places and doing things I've never done on this course. Violet playing it on the left side as well. Needs that to catch, and it does. That's how you want to slide up to that concrete so it bounces you back in. Tried to save it. Got a little bounce and a roll. I figured at this point, the luck not on my side. It's probably just going to stand up and roll OB. Hannah expecting that headwind to lift it. It did not. Violet's going to take in that meter there and step it in. Having a little bit of a rough putting day. She's going to stick with the waffle. That's the one she trusts and loves. That's going to get her a birdie. Move her over to the 18th tee. So about 20 feet for Ohn. Absolutely no problem. Add that in, another birdie. So unfortunately, I'm going to give Ohn 2 strokes on that hole. I had got it backed pretty close again where it was still a battle. But now she has opened it up to 3 strokes again. Just like that, we are headed to the last tee. It's a new tee. The 18th now throwing across the water, 330 feet, par 3. It's about 250 at your shortest point to throw it across there on the right in front of that big tree. Anything that hyzers back into the water, you're going to find yourself at the drop zone, as well as if you cross over that wall there behind the basket, and there is an OB line that comes in very tight all along. Ohn's headed towards it, but I think she's going to get enough skip and hyzer. Going to keep her in there. Spotter's going to run and give it a look. Gets the green flag. Violet with a beautiful angle. That's stable. It'll hyzer back. Wind just pushing it. Everyone thinks it's great. Unfortunately, it slides.
It's long? Yeah.
Slides past the line. There is about a foot or so between the painted line and that little barrier. Hannah gets good height. The wind keeps pushing all of these back. She's going to sneak through the branches, stay up on top, nice and dry. Going with a really stable rock. Trying to get that to hyzer back. And the wind, again, just keeping all of her discs from hyzering like they typically should. Going to stay safe. Little tree there catches me. I don't think it would have gone too much further, but this is about 125 feet from the drop zone. Violet letting it go too low. It's a very scary approach because, again, you have the OB not only in the water that it very easily trickles down to, but right behind the basket as well. Hannah just going for the layup as well as Ohn. And myself, absolutely no reason to risk giving Ohn one more stroke. Not my day at the park today, but that's a great way to end it. Doesn't matter what the score is. That's an awesome putt, Violet. She knows it. She loves it. That's a bogey. That's going to take her to 10 under. Nice deep breath from Hannah. Gets the par. Hannah's going to be at 2 under for the tournament. And Ohn and myself tapping out pars. Ohn with a hot round, taking her to 17 under. Myself at 14, so Ohn coming in behind. She's going to lead on top. That 8 under round was over 1,000 rated. Takes over the 3-stroke lead. Myself, Violet, Hannah still going to remain on the lead. Katarina, Sophia, Kimberly, and Joe Henderson also making the leaderboard. We're going to have a cut tomorrow.